interviewing one of our highlights, Chris Leblanc. So, go it.
Good afternoon. Chris Leblanc has been a mainstay on the Louisiana music scene for more than 20 years. He's recorded and released 4 CDs since 1995 on his own label, Sweet Roll Records, and sold more than 25,000 copies combined. Chris plays shows to crowds from all over. He plays regional shows traveling the United States, including Alaska, as well as going to perform in Europe at least six different times.
Yes.
Chris has been billed with such artists as ZZ Top, Hank Williams Jr., Buddy Guy, Dr. John, B.B. King, Vince Gill, and Bret Michaels, just to name a few. Chris Leblanc, welcome to Behind the Blues. Really glad to have you here in the old state capitol.
Thank you.
Yeah, as a native of Baton Rouge, you know this building is really iconic to Baton Rouge. So let's jump right in and talk a little bit about what first drew you to the blues and how did you even get started in music in general?
Right on. Well, thank you for having me. That's a great question. Growing up in this part of the country down here, we have such a rich community of blues musicians that this blues festival has been going on now for, I believe, over 40 years. And I was a kid coming to see these shows, meeting a lot of people. I had a skill set that was a good musician. I met a lot of really very, very cool people who were nice and welcomed me into the music community, as well as, it takes a lot of work to survive in the music world and be in a city. Baton Rouge, again, has always really supported a lot of the music and all the arts, really. We have a city here that is 2 major universities, very transient, people coming in from all over the country. And it brings a real mix of cultures and music and people. And when you can put a thumbprint on some of that, we're doing that here in Baton Rouge. We have a huge festival. Our festival is full of people who mostly are from this region. We don't have to import a lot of talent. It's all here.
That's true. Chris, you talk about growing up in Baton Rouge and you grew up right here underneath the Blues Festival. Who were some of your biggest musical influences while you were growing up?
Okay, well, I'll tell you. For sure, I played with Luther Kent, Big Luther Kent.
Big Luther Kent, yes.
For many years.
Huh.
And I started playing with him in my early 20s. And then I played a lot with the Neal family. Mr. Rayfield Neal was a close man to me. Little Ray Neal, Kenny Neal, all the Neal family, Chris Thomas, Tabby Thomas, Oscar Harpo Davis, Henry Gray. I played with Henry Gray for years. And all these guys really help you, they're what I would call stylist musicians. Mm-hmm. They have a thing that is a thumbprint and a style. And they really are Baton Rouge music, it's so good. And, I thought about a memory that I had here. In the early days I was working, my family had a production company and they would do all the production for these shows out. And the Blues Festival used to be on this hill right here on the grounds of the old state capitol. And when I was 15 years old, I played on stage with Silas Hogan and Guitar Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
It was the day that ZZ Hill passed away, a famous blues musician. And so it was a bit of a celebration in his life and playing the blues,
You talk about the stylist musicians. How has Louisiana's rich musical heritage influenced your sound, your specific sound, and these people that you came up under? You have talked about all the greats that are known to this region.
Well, I think with this kind of music, you either got it or you ain't got it, and you can't fake it.
Yeah.
You don't fake the blues.
You can't.
You cannot
it's in
fake
you.
that. As someone who goes out and plays music that is of a culture, the listener has to believe it. And so I have to believe what I'm doing, and everybody else has to believe what I sound like. And so that's how you get greatness, is actually becoming that.
You know, I say that about the blues all the time. It's real talk. I always say it's not fantasy music. It's real talk. It's real life. It's real experiences. And like you said, either you have it or you don't. You want to expound on that some more?
Yeah. It's the people's music. Blues music is people's music. This Southern culture and this music is of the people. It is so there. You know, I tune into, I have to believe the music that I even listen to. Mm-hmm. I listen to world music. I listen to reggae a lot. I listen to a lot of world sounding music that I have to believe. And so that's how we move in this world with music. It is a believable, real thing, you know, and it translates. It translates. It's a timeless thing. Otherwise, they wouldn't have an old gray-looking dude on me on stage. He'd be a lot prettier than me.
I got it. So, you know, tell us a bit about your songwriting process. We say the blues are real. You can't fake it. Mm-hmm. It's in you. Tell us a little bit about your songwriting, the process that you take.
Yeah. A lot of it is mixed. You know, it's mixed where oftentimes I have those lines and I'm always texting into a telephone, words that are stream of consciousness. It's how the greats did it. You know, like Otis Redding went into a recording studio and sang a lot of stream of conscious words that were of love and this thing that comes, or whatever, sadness or the blues, whatever it is that comes in, it's stream of conscious, and those are the ones that count. And so when I am there, I'm writing words and I'm dropping words, and then I'll be playing and I feel we can play something, and in the studio we can feel this, and then oftentimes I have words before. I always have music. Always have music. Everything is music. And
everything is music.
Everything is music. Words, voices, you, me, everything.
You know,
and so like, then you're just thinking, what's the message? Mm-hmm. And the message is what your intent and that's your stance as an artist, you know?
Yeah.
You know, it's your stance to like, what is your message? I want my message to be of right, good. You know, even if you're down, everybody's, you know, whatever, up, down. Your intention should be to be pleasing for the listener.
You've got your phone in your hand right now, and you talk about using your phone. Are you recording into your phone sometimes? Or you are just writing the lyrics into the phone, or both?
Well, it's everything. It's everything. Voice message, like I'll use voice recorder and sing pieces and sing words that are stream of consciousness, or I will be in notes and just text a bunch of things that are rolling off of me many times a day. It's just over. Pencil and paper is too slow.
That's what I'm thinking here. I'm thinking like, wow, you know, these smartphones can do it all. And I can just imagine what all is in your phone right now that is waiting to be strung together to be the next great Chris Leblanc song.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's all there in your phone. I see you holding on to it. So your music blends a bit of blues, a bit of soul.
Yeah.
How do you balance these different styles? What's your method for balancing?
You know, it's funny, and I love that you asked me this question, because, you know, everybody kind of like wants to. I mean, what does Otis Redding sound like? Mm-hmm. I mean, Otis Redding sounds like the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life. You know, it starts there.
He's one of the greats.
And then it's words and soul and love. That's how strong my love is, or whatever's going on. It's like, you know, you got to blend. It is a blender. We are a blender of all these things. And I think it's really important as an artist and people who are performing. You should be discerning, careful with your words, say what you mean what you say.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't just throw anything out in the universe that could do some damage.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to, and I wrote it down, the blues, you can't fake it.
No.
And so that kind of speaks back to that, don't just throw anything out there. You can't fake it. This has got to be real. This has got to be coming from the heart. Mm-hmm. What is your most memorable performance or gig that you've ever had? And you've had many to choose from. But if you had to pick just one.
I mean, if I had to pick one, man, it was, it's really tough. I don't know.
I bet, because you've had some really good ones.
There's so many. I play music so much. Music is so much my life. There's some moments in my life that I shared a lot of music with some moments. I had a gig last night that was just amazing.
Just last night.
Yeah, my show last night, we played at Phil Brady's, and it was just incredible. The energy was right. We're looking forward to today, so the evening's show is is a rehearsal and a gig. Going back, what you would say, I know this might sound crazy, but when I'm a kid, I saw B.B. King play on Sesame Street, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's it. That is it right there.
And you were a kid watching
I was
this.
4 years old.
That's incredible.
Yeah, watching this and watching. And then, I mean it. The first record that I ever remember seeing being played on a turntable is a 45, and it's Love and Happiness.
Love and Happiness.
That's all it is.
I saw that somewhere, that everything for you was about love and happiness.
It's all about the love.
Yes, and we're both
There's
old enough
nothing else.
Yeah, we're both old enough to remember what a 45 record was and sounded like, and how we played it.
Yeah.
Still have a few of them just to hang on to.
I have thousands of records.
Yeah, vinyl's coming back. It's coming
I love
back.
it. It's just so much fun. I love it. And I have records of things that are not even anywhere else, but right in your hand.
Yeah,
And
right
that's
there
the
on record.
gift. It's a gift.
So you talked about your memorable performance that you watched with B.B. King on Sesame Street. Memorable performances, have you looked out into the audience and just seen someone and just like, wow,
Yeah.
hey, maybe you knew them or you didn't know them, but your music was resonating with them?
Right.
Talk about that a little bit.
I think so. I think when you look out and that's the beautiful part. I wish so many, if there was anything that I could wish in the world, and it's just with all the humility that I could think of inside of me, is to know that, like, when I'm playing oftentimes on stage and I see so many of these people, and I wish that they could see what that happiness looks like from
Your
that
band.
projection. You know what I mean? This exchange of this energy that is such a blessing. It's beyond words. I never thought that would ever. When I was younger, I just worked a lot and played music. I didn't travel a lot. I never flew on an airplane until I was 24 years old. And then it took off.
Yeah, at that point, you could go anywhere.
It's everywhere, and I don't ever want to go to airports anymore. I don't like it, man. It's a bummer. Airports are tough. They're not,
It is.
It's not
a lot
this,
No.
we're just hanging out.
But, it's necessary. You got to get on the plane to get, especially if you're going overseas.
I'm sure I'll do some more. I haven't flown in about a year and a half because I'll drive, I'm serious, whatever. If they want to drive me somewhere, cool, let's go,
Okay. So, speaking of memorable gigs and that exchange that goes on between concert goer and artist on stage, it's definitely magic. Do you have a favorite song from your catalog? And if so, why is that your favorite?
I wrote a song some years ago that, and it's one called "Deliver Me." It's a moment that it's called "Deliver Me," and it's almost like It's a spiritual move kind of song, you know. It's
Okay.
a beautiful song. I wrote it in about 10 minutes. Those are usually the cooler ones, you know. The ones you got to work on a little bit more, not so, like, this one, I believe that's, again, the stream of consciousness and thought and always being turned on. Those are the ones that are going to just cruise through you. We're all that, you know. I believe it's all our thoughts. It's just, you know, if whatever we're thinking of, people do it in their everyday jobs and whatever. And that's how I approached all this music, was just every day, every moment, and just sit and just drill. And songs that came through me, and the ones that are, you know, say, again, nice, something that's and then it's about making your way to God. That's what it is. Deliver me. So it's a nice one.
It's beautiful.
And then I enjoyed, like, you know, I also really, a lot of the most of my work, I would say, in the recording has been playing on I played on my own records, of course, but playing on other people's records, spending a lot of times in the studio recording with these people. Some years back, I had an opportunity and I got called to do what was really what I believe is my favorite recording session that I ever did. And we were over in Dockside. And I recorded on Bobby Charles's last record. Bobby Charles is a Louisiana musician. And on the session was Sonny Landreth, Dr. John, Jerry McGee, some guys who were stylists, had a sound. And it was this contribution of togetherness. I spent 5 days in a studio with these people, and you get to figure it out. At the same time, I was the youngest person on the session, right?
Oh my.
And I'm still 45 years old. And I'm asking everybody if everybody needs coffee, because it's respect, you know. But we had a lot of really good times of making music. And I mean, from the beginning of, like, making music and recording right records is what's up. And, you know, Bobby Charles, he had See You Later, Alligator. That's one of his. And then he wrote Walk Into New Orleans for Fats Domino.
Fats Domino.
He was a dude that didn't play it. He didn't play an instrument. He just, again, stream of consciousness, wrote words, had songs in his mind, and I was the guy that was with him, and he would sing the song, and I would unlock these changes of the song, what's going on with him. And then he would be like, no, that's not it. Yeah, that's it. Let's do this. Let's do this. And then we kept everything that he wants to do. That's making the record, you know. But this is like plugging in pieces of someone's. Again, this guy made unbelievable music. His words are so incredible.
It's quite a talent to be able to do that.
Yeah, and the dude was just, you know, he had this thing, and I'm with him, and we're doing this exchange of, and then it's me and him and Dr. John and Sonny Landreth and all these, and David Hyde, all these guys who are just coming together to make it was his last record. And we recorded this record, and Bobby passes away 6 months later. And then I went to go sing at his funeral at church, you know. So it's these moments, you know, that, you know, there's things, I mean, all we have, we're just making all these moments in music, and
Music,
it's all fleeting. It goes away, you know, everything goes away.
Music, moments, memories.
The most.
Yes, just to do a little alliteration there. Music, moments, and memories.
There you are.
That might be a song. Think
I
about
think-
it. I'll come up with a title. You
You're
have to
the
do
writer.
the rest.
You write it, you know?
I got a title, but you got to take it from there.
See, we need to start popping music.
Yeah, we're on it. We're on it. So, you know, how do you, I'm loving the audience here, everybody's smiling. So how do you keep the blues fresh and relevant for modern audiences? We've got a lot of young people that are coming up into this genre or listening to this genre. How do you keep it relevant, and how do you stay connecting to them?
Yeah, so most of the time, 99% of the time in blues music, the subject matter, the vibes, the feel are their own thing, they stay relevant. It never goes away. It never goes away. It's the reason why the Rolling Stones wanted to be Chuck Berry and Muddy Waters. And all they wanted to do was share it with their friends and be like, you guys are not gonna believe. They're responsible. I mean, the English and the Europeans are completely responsible for the American blues revival in this country. I mean, guys like Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, all these dudes, they couldn't get arrested. They couldn't make no money. They weren't making the money until they got on 1966, 68, Newport Jazz Festivals, money festivals, making records. And then here's Muddy Waters going out and opening shows with the Rolling Stones. Okay, now he's getting it. He's getting what he should have got all these years ago, because he's a king. He's a king of the blues, Muddy Waters.
No question.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, no question.
And there's no doubt. He's the king. And then Chuck Berry is the king of rock and roll. And so these dudes, it's like, they stay relevant. You know, it's the reason why I can go out today and I'm gonna go play. I'll play some of my stuff, but I'm gonna play a bunch of old blues. I'm gonna pay homage to Lazy Lester, who was a close friend of mine. I'm gonna pay homage to Luther Kent, and I'm gonna pay homage to Henry Gray, and I'm gonna play these songs that, if we don't play this music, it's gone. This music is meant to play live, and it lives. And if I ain't doing it, who's doing it?
That's right. That's one way to keep it relevant, is to keep playing it, keep performing it, keep putting it out in front of everyone.
Right. You know, when I was younger, and I'll say this, and this is not BS, this is real, that when I was hanging out, and because I met the Neal family when I was younger, and Darnell, the bass player, and I are close, and then me and Frederick and all the brothers and everybody. And as I got to know their daddy, Rayful, he would always call me up. He would always call me up and want me to come play. Lil Ray Neal wants me to play. Rayful Neal said, if you can play the blues, you must play the blues.
If you can play the blues.
If you can play the blues, you must play the blues.
Yeah, there's no moving around
There's no other
There are no options. You got to do it. If you can, you must.
I mean, you can play rock and roll, but it's going to be, my rock and roll is going to have blues in it.
Gotcha.
I mean, everything is the blues.
Gotcha. So on that note, what's the best advice you've ever received about being a musician?
My dad was a musician. And when I was coming up, he knew that I had a skill set, you know, and I was playing in the clubs. I started playing in clubs when I'm 10 years old.
You were too young to be in the club, but
Well,
you were not too young to perform, apparently.
Yeah, but I had skills, and so you go to work. I started doing it. But my dad told me, he said, Chris, he said, you can play music for many different reasons. You can play music for fame, money, women, all this, you name it. Because, I mean, look, everybody knows you want to play music to make the ladies happy. First thing you got to do is play music. First. That's all, first. Nothing else. Music, then everything else comes. And so. And
priorities.
That's it. Priorities. Get it straight. Get it right. And that's the reason why I'm still doing it. You know, I play more shows than anybody I know. I play more music than anybody I know. And that's the truth. There's no one I know that's played more gigs than me.
Incredible.
I played 250 shows in a year for like 20 years straight.
And there are only 365 days in a year.
I'm 56 years old.
Yeah, there are only 365 days in a year, so most of the year you're playing.
These people will tell you.
Yeah.
These people out in the street, ask them. Nobody's played more shows than me. And so it's the reason I'm still doing it, and I'm going to continue to do it because, you know, it's a stance. It's a purpose. You know, it's a purpose, man. I got love inside of me, and it's going to be that way until the end.
So, Chris, you've played these gigs more than anybody you know. If you could collaborate with any musician, living or deceased, who would it be?
Oh, wow. Right? Oh, my God.
You named so many, and you've done a lot
wow.
with many.
I want to be
Who's
in...
out there that you haven't had a
man.
chance to do
man.
something with?
That'd be awesome. There's so many people that's oh, wow. Who could I make a record with, huh? I would have liked to, I don't know, I'd have liked to have been the bass player in the Beatles. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, the
would
bass
be
player
good.
of the Beatles is, I mean, the music,
Yeah.
everything, you know. I mean, the bass player in the Beatles would have been pretty cool to be.
Okay, that works. Anybody out there that you could
mean-
still play with since
Yeah, he's
can't
still
quite do
gigging. He's still gigging. I probably have not played more gigs than Paul McCartney, but I don't know him. So,
Paul McCartney, if you are listening, we can just put it out there right now in the atmosphere. If you are listening, Chris Leblanc is here in Baton Rouge. He will figure out a way to get to you, be it, he doesn't want to fly, but he may drive to wherever you are to do this gig. Just got to
Yes,
put it
he-
out there. We got to put it out there. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. He's still gigging, like you said.
yeah.
So when you're not making music, and I know it's a priority, what
Yeah.
are you doing those other few days of the year that you're
Right.
not playing music?
I know, man. I'm cleaning my house, cooking. Cook. I love cooking. I'm an
Okay.
amazing cook. I just picked up a couple of flats. Well, actually, my mom brought me a couple of flats of fresh strawberries, and I just made a bunch of strawberry preserves a couple of days ago.
Okay,
So,
yeah, we got the
you know,
Strawberry
I mean,
Festival coming up. Okay.
It goes good on a shingle, you know. So it's
I'm
good. Man. And a
adding-
biscuit. It's all good. I love to cook.
I'm adding to our alliteration. We've got music, moments, memories, and meals.
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 Oh yeah, we don't want to miss
I got
those.
it. I got it down. That's what we're gonna do. That's Chris Leblanc. He's got music, moments, memories, and meals. You can catch him cooking if he's not performing.
So awesome.
It is. So, Chris, I think we're up on our time, but I want to check with the audience in the building. Are we taking any questions from the audience? Do we have any questions from our live audience? No questions?
Hey.
There is a question. Oh, wait, there are questions.
Hey.
What next?
What next?
What next?
So, musically, I over the last year and a half, I just recorded 15 or 16 new songs. They're done, and it's in the studio. You know, I did all this, and I went to go I was just making music, you know, playing music. So I recorded a bunch of music, and been working on it and doing a bunch of mixing, and so you know, I'll start kind of putting that out soon. You know, that's kind of like that. I'm gonna take the hottest part of the summer and go cool off up north maybe for a week or 2 weeks, you know.
Okay.
I enjoy, you know, the things that I really enjoy now are these moments, really. It's been such a hustle, you know, of traveling and gigs and all this stuff that I'm enjoying coffee time. You know, if that means, you know what I'm saying? Just being with people. I mean, this is, you know, the hustle goes away. You know, the hustle goes away. I just made 56 years old, and I'm just, you know, I feel like I want to. My music feels good. I sound good. I feel good, and I know that I got faith that whatever is next, God is going to be with me, beside me, and carry me through it. No doubt, you know, for sure. Yeah.
All right, we got a question over here as well.
Yeah.
It was you. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Oh yeah, no doubt.
Clifton Chenier,
No
the king
doubt.
of Zydeco. We
No
want to
doubt.
add him to the list. I know that's Zydeco, but
Yeah.
you know, blues and Zydeco, it's all kind of
It
in
mixes,
the gumbo.
yeah.
It's in
It
the
mixes.
gumbo.
I got to see Clifton Chenier when I was a kid. Again, you know, going back when I was younger, my family had a production company that did all these festivals, you know. So I was young going out and doing this. And I didn't know who I was seeing when I'm 14 years old. But I didn't forget who I saw after I saw Clifton Chenier. He was the most, it was so lifted. It was in Plaisance. They have a Zydeco festival in Plaisance over
in Plaisance,
here. Yeah. So, and this is like back when it's a stage in the middle of a bean field, and the festival starts at 9 o'clock in the morning and does not stop until 3 o'clock in the morning. And it was amazing. Music all day long, people, family, food, love, and Clifton Chenier changed my life that day, I think, no doubt. Yeah, there's some great moments that, you know, and especially here these days, there was blues shows here in the city that, you know, I go in here and back in the day and I watch Bobby Blue Bland, you know, play in the River Center here, and I'm like, you know, again, I'm a teenager, and it's a moment that all of that added up, you know. All of it added up, I believe, you know.
No question. Chris Leblanc, we want to thank you for stopping by and talking with us here for WRKF's Behind the Blues for the 2025 Blues Fest right here in Baton Rouge.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I thank you guys so much for inviting me. And I'm going to continue on, and I'm so very thankful. And again, I hope we can continue on this tradition of Louisiana music for the rest of the world.
Indeed, we are grateful to have you, Chris Leblanc. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Also, I want to say I am very excited that this weekend, Lil Ray Neal will be inducted into the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame.
Saw that.
And so
yes.
It's going to be very cool. Lil Ray Neal is the king of blues guitar around here, I promise you that. Yeah.
All right. Chris, we got to get a picture.
Yes.